right. It says we are live. So hello, while I drop my chopstick again. How are we? We are now 4 days um, from the new month, from camp, from the second half of the year. Am I ready? No, absolutely not. I did get up early this morning, which I think I had said that I was going to be trying to do a little bit more, but it was not spent writing or doing any of that stuff. It was my parents are thinking about redoing the bathrooms, shower stalls, and like new tubs and possibly new floor, and I don't know what else. But so they're considering their options, and so we went over to one of the home improvement stores in town and looked at their sort of like samples and prices, and they didn't have a whole lot there like in store. And the people who came by and asked, "Do you need any help?" They're like, "Oh, it's like all online. You can look." Well, looking online is not quite the same thing as like physically seeing the size, or like being able to open the door and like feel the material of the door and whatnot. So we wanted to see what they had, and they had a limited in-stock options, let's say. So that was not real successful. So, and they didn't have any like pamphlets or brochures, but their options, because they were like, "Oh, it's all online." And my mom hates like spending that amount of time looking and researching stuff online. So they're like, "Well, you can make an appointment and have somebody come out and measure, and they'll have brochures and they'll have their iPad and can show you." And I'm like, "That's not quite the same thing." I was like, let's I'll do some of the research and look stuff up, and then once we have a better idea of what we would like, then we can call and make an appointment for somebody to come out and measure things and whatnot. So we did that. So not like hugely successful at that store. Went to the grocery store, got the things we needed there, went to another store to look for something that my dad had asked for, and they did not have anything that was remotely similar to what he was asking for. And so that was a fail. And then we stopped by another place because we're it's a custom like ironwork shop in town. And so because we're considering having wrought iron railings put up for the front steps, and possibly maybe redoing the back deck sort of like railing, although that could get really expensive because the deck is decently large. So anyway, we had called the place, and they had said that they were kind of running behind, but that was like a month and a half ago, and we hadn't heard anything from them. And so Mom wanted to stop by and kind of give them a little nudge. And so they didn't have any like samples of railings in stock because they do every job custom apparently. But he was able to show us some pictures and options. And he said that either he or the other like main guy would be out at some point this week to check out and measure the front stoop, so that we can get that underway. So like not 100% success, but not 100% fail either. So we had some success this morning. And I did get the next 2 weeks scheduled for streams. So that is done. I didn't tag everything, sort of like in the back end YouTube of things. I tagged today's, but I didn't tag any of the others because I ran out of time. So not, it was slightly productive, but not real successful, even though it was ish productive, sort of. So it just kind of feels like it's a Monday. 'Tis a Monday, and Monday vibes are about. So let me know if you are having a better Monday with much more success than me. Megan says hello and happy time zones. Hello. And Becca says hello. Hello. And CB says hello. Hello. Stacy says hello. Hello. Christian says hello and smiley face. Lindsay says happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday to you. And Monique says, hey, y'all, I'm officially on vacation time. Yay! Officially vacation. That's amazing. Cool Gamer says, hi. Hello. Stacy says, I am so not ready for NaNo. Me either. Which is why we're going to try and fix some of that today. I do have a project that I have chosen to work on. And it is in a somewhat drafted stage. So the goal for camp is to finish the draft and do the read through so that I can begin editing, because I would like to do this a little bit faster turnaround and actually like get through draft to revision stage. So that I can sort of like have another attempt at that, because my attempt at doing the read through and revision for Project Gray is just abysmal. So I need a new clean slate. I need to try again. The new moon is tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or is it Wednesday? Mine says Wednesday. Of course, I'll have to look up the time because it could be, like just after midnight or something. Becca says, I wanted to finish my rewrites before July. You're still going to try, but yeah, probably not going to happen. You still have 4 days. You still have 4 days. Jen writes from it, says, hey, everyone. Hello. And Laura is here. Hello. And Stacy says, I have been cleaning out my email. Lots of old messages that just need to be deleted. Yes. I do not do that frequently enough, which is why it always winds up being like thousands of messages that I do and like a batch. I really shouldn't do that. And then I go through and I unsubscribe to just about everything. So yeah. Heather says, hello. Looking online isn't always practical. Yeah. And that's the thing is I can't, I'm not good at visualizing spatial visualization. I am not good at that. So I always have to have like measurements and like very specific things. And even still, I still can't. I have such a hard time because I have where I've done like a to scale model of all my pieces of furniture on paper. And so I can rearrange my room on paper before I actually physically move the room around, but that still doesn't always, because I can look at the like map essentially that I build for myself, and I can say, oh yeah, there's a gap between this piece of furniture and this piece of furniture that could serve as a walkway. But what I can't feel is like looking at the paper is this big enough for me to carry the laundry basket through it? Like I can't envision that. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's some amount of space, but I can't like I can't visualize exactly how much space I'm gonna need to like carry the laundry basket through, so I have a hard time with that, which is why seeing things in person is important. Jen says hey to Heather, and Heather says hey Jen. And also, not everyone is capable of you. Well, it's also that like not all the websites are actually user friendly or have a useful interface. BA says hey y'all. Hey, how are you? And Jen says, hey to BA. And BA says, hey, how are you? Comet is here. Hello, everyone. Hello. Jen is doing good. How about us? How about all? I'm doing pretty good, other than sort of like wishing my morning had been slightly more successful. Becca says, it's that incomplete feeling. Yes, even though you've done so much. Yes. However, I had a very tasty and healthy, not really, lunch of salsa, hummus, and chips. That was my lunch. Because they were there in the fridge and I did not feel like fixing. Emmy says, hello. Hello. CB says, I went to 10-pin bowling and bowled a 50. You think that's the worst score you've ever got? I don't know what the worst I've ever gotten is. I do know that I always start out really strong, and then I usually break a nail. And then it just goes downhill from there. Laura says, my goal is to finish polishing the seeds of doubt before July. You're doing it with your mother. You're over halfway done now. Yes. Also, I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited. I can't wait until you hear back from the agent, because I know it's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. So yes, we're gonna manifest this. Stacy says, oh, and I started a new project yesterday, but that one won't take too much time. More or less writing a sermon on your family at our church for the church's 50th anniversary. That was last year. Wow. Church has been there for a while. Jen says, I never delete emails and I regret that now. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like there are emails where you know what it says. So like, why do you need to open it? And then it just sits there being unread. Anyway, don't judge me. Megan says, I'm going to be hosting a video anthology, so you're brainstorming for that and trying to get set up. Fantastic. CB says, I don't delete emails, I archive them. Yes. And then I can't remember how to get them out of the archive if I ever need them. I suppose I should just Google it. Mom Maggie says, hello, lovelies. Hashtag Stream Hoppers United. Yes. Mom Maggie says, make friends with the like button. That would be helpful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Stream Hoppers United. Unless it's in your junk mail. True. Yes, we do get rid of those. Megan says, the boyfriend also wants you to find a college to apply for the fall semester, so you have to figure out what kind of degree program you want to enter. Ooh. If I was going to go for a second master's, would I go for a second master's, or would I go for the PhD? I think I'd probably go for the second master's. Because in some ways, PhD means more like ivory tower academic stuff. And then master's it's a decent amount of education, but it does make you sort of more, I don't know, accessible maybe to employers. I don't know. I was considering business MBA, just because I would need to know a little bit more about that for like investment and accounting and marketing and sort of like a general business stuff. But then on the other hand, all the fun things. CB says, I moved my living room around last week. Yep, moving things can be good, but also can be frustrating. Amy says, good news, I will release my Patreon 1st of July. Exciting. You worked really hard to create the backlog of content. Fantastic. Jen says, I think I finally have a good morning routine scheduled now. Finally. Ooh. Let us know if you feel like it. Let us know what your routine is, whether or not you have a blog post on it or not. I don't know. And how it works for you. You could do either blog post or video or both. Who knows? Amy says, today is so hot that you feel like not doing anything. Amen to that. When you worked at the bowling alley, you always kept a pair of nail clippers on you because the balls always break. Yes. It didn't matter like how short my nails were because I don't have like super long nails. That would always break them. Always. You used to be really good at bowling. Seeds of Doubt is awesome. Your goal for the stream and for the next few days is to finish as much of your outline as you can. Yes, that way you will be ready for camp when it comes around on Friday. Jen says, I am embarrassingly bad at bowling. Have I ever bowled into another lane? I think I might have once. That kind of tells you how I am. Jen says, I thought an online college sounded fun. You considered it when you retired just to see what happened. Then you realized you have no time. Time is an issue, yes. CB said, also, I have issues with online classes. I have severe frustration issues with online classes. Jen's, yeah. So CB says it's relatively easy to find archived emails in iCloud. Yeah, I use Google though. Mama Maggie says, and sometimes people look at PhDs as this person is overqualified. Yes. Yes, that happens. Megan says, I never got a degree because of your disability, so you're hoping to find an online program, but you want a really reputable program. Yes, you do. Yes. But a lot of really reputable programs tend to be either in person or hybrid. But yeah. And you just hope that you get a good cohort for whatever courses or group that you are going through. That way the discussion posts aren't just full of nothing. Heather says, Jen, age is just a number. Stacy says, if I was going to go back to school, I would go for something fun like French, especially reading and writing and listening. Speaking, I would not do so well. Yeah, and that was why I thought about getting my master's and PhD in comparative literature, which is what my bachelor's is in. But you have to do your own translating for pretty much all the PhD programs in that. And I am not that good. I left my French by the wayside in high school. I left my Spanish by the wayside in middle school. I took Japanese and minored in it in college, but haven't done a whole lot with it since. So I don't think I can do my own translating at this point. CB says, if I was going to go for a degree, I would do communications and media with a minor in creative writing. The creative writing classes were always fun. Super fun for me. Megan says, I'm thinking of doing either marketing or communications, depending on what you can find. Yes. And there's even, like, I know there's new media is one of the things, sort of like categories, which includes things like social media and marketing as well. So I don't know if there's going to be a new media sort of quote unquote program near you, but I know that those were certificates that were being offered that are now sort of like more degree pathways. So yeah. Heather says, I was in my early 30s when I got my lifeguard certification. You've never bowled into another lane, but you have dropped a ball and it rolled backwards. Yes. Mom Maggie says, if I went back to college, it would be to get a mathematics or botany degree. Ooh, botany would be fun. Notice I did not say mathematics would be fun. Jen says, I never got a degree either. Of course you want a good program. Yeah, you do, always. Jen is laughing, and BA says, I pulled an affirmations card and it was too good not to share, so here it is. It's just start. There's an exciting new project winking at me, and now it's up to me to slip a note into its locker. Oh, I love that. I love that. Is there a second part to that? I'm just trying to figure out. No, okay. Jen says, you are right, Heather. Stacy says, I could do online. I tried distance learning and that was horrible, but that was about 20 years ago. And it has developed since then, which is nice. You would do an online engineering degree. Ooh, that could be fun too. You're thinking about going back to community college in January. Definitely could be fun. Start with community college. They often have a department to make sure your disabilities are considered by the instructors. That is what we did with the eldest. Yeah, the bigger colleges tends to be like a little harder to get some of the, you would essentially have to like really go through their disability office to get your accommodations. Jen says, I just don't know what I'd even study. I think it would be more to just learn again since I miss that about school. You're stretched for time as it is, though. Yeah. Well, if you don't want to do a complete degree, you could see if your local colleges allows auditing of classes. But yeah. Laura says, if I went back to school, I would study creative writing. You've been contemplating it. You've never had a creative writing class for your whole schooling. They are fun. They are very fun. But it was definitely like I could not get it until my senior year, my junior or senior year, because if you had a declared major of creative writing, it was much easier for you to get into the class than if you just wanted to take it as sort of like part of your rest of coursework. Kate says, hello, sneaking away from work to outline a scene in chapter 53 and 54. Nice. Okay. Stacy had a minor in speech communication and an emphasis in electronic media, which meant TV and radio at that point. Gotcha. Laura says, from a bachelor's, I took a writing about humanities class where you wrote reviews of shows, movies? Yes, etc. Nice. Okay, so here's the other part to get the ball rolling. You might be tingling with nerves, but it's time to bulldoze. Ooh, okay, so there's a connection here. Those fears and just start. Anyway, today I vow to take the first small step in this process or dance, and remember, the project winked first. Love that. Super cute. And yes, so since BA mentioned the card, I did pull one. So you were talking about bulldozing. We have the rhino. And the rhino goes very much with your, let's see if I can get this to focus on here. The rhino goes very much with your winking, bulldozing. It is overcome any obstacle. Very, very good timing. Love that. So let's get a little bit more in depth about our rhino friend. Okay. We always have the choice to press ahead, and Rhino's spirit strength offers you the power to break through stubborn obstacles. This animal spirit knows there is more than one way to push open a path to what you seek. When the Rhino spirit appears, you are reminded that you have a marvelous ability to overcome obstacles in multiple ways, by going around them, shattering them with the force of clear and deliberate intentions, or even transforming them into clouds that drift away by refusing to allow them to limit you. Apply your rhino with creativity, and no obstacle can stand in your way, for you have magic to make and many ways in which to make it. Your power is awesome right now. The rhino also wants to remind you that when an obstacle appears to prevent you from getting what you desire, it means that something much better is coming. Keep that in mind when you consider the nature of the obstacle in front of you. The rhino loves you so much and only wants the best for you. Yay! So we have overcoming obstacles, and it appears that the main part of the obstacle is us not starting it, starting the path, starting the journey. So the rhino is there to say, yes, we're going ahead. We are moving this. So yes, that is a very good connection with BA's card as well. Okay. See, Jen says, took a couple of creative writing classes here and there. Your teachers liked what they liked, and made it very clear what they hated in as far as genres. You didn't like that part, but you cringe now at what you wrote. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an aspect of that because, you know, the teachers are human. They do like what they like. But yeah, I remember a lot of the other people in the creative writing class wanted to write these like really dark and deep things, and everything had to have a real deep meaning. And I was over there going like, I want to rewrite a fairy tale. So after like several times of this, I was like, all right, I'm going to write the most depressing shit I have ever written and see how much they like it. So I did, and they loved it. And I just giggle at it the whole time because I was just like, this is yes. So writing to your audience, it was an exercise in that. Try Coursera. Years ago, and probably awful. If I ever see the community college you went to where you took all your mass communication classes, would take into consideration all the reasons why I didn't graduate, I would get a degree in English. Gotcha. If you went to study again, it would be something artsy. Illustration would be good. Yes. You're glad this time you have a doctor and you can get a proper doctor's note for it. Yes. Okay. All right. The Therapets card that Laura pulled. Don't focus on success or failure. Just focus on effort. Focus on trying. Yes. Okay. So we have our brain is telling us we got to start on this project. The project winked first. And we need to focus on just trying to move through our brain and our stubbornness and get the course, get our story started. So that's the vibe for today. Yes, my brain is my obstacle. Yes, absolutely. Okay, we have been chatting for a while. I am going to go ahead and start us off with the turtle timer because we need a solid effort. We just need to start and write. So, okay. Let me click all the buttons, make sure that we've gotten everything set up right. Okay. 1, if you have already been working today, save the document. If you have not been working yet, now's a great time to double click your Word document, Scrivener document, whatever, and open it up, which is what I'm doing. Next, make sure you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4, make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 25 minutes for our turtle timer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right. That was sprint number 1. How'd we do? I went to the Camp NaNo site, NaNoWriMo, and updated my camp goal. So I have a Murder and Mayhem project listed there. My goal is going to be 35,000 because I would like to finish this draft rather than do a complete draft. Well, I mean, I do want a complete draft at the end, but it's already started. So I did that, and then I started working in pencil because I feel like some of this is not going to stay. But again, doing it by hand. So I do not have a word count for you. I've been trying to sort of like wrap my brain around some things. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there was a thunder rumble. We might get some rain today. Okay. Anyway, so I do not have a word for you, but I've made progress. So it's a thing. Okay. Heather got a new car. New car. Yay. That's awesome. Mom Maggie is cleaning because her brain is rejecting editing. Fair enough. CB was asking for some advice on passive versus active, or fixing passive voice as it was. So I gave a couple of examples. And sort of like the thing that I always kind of try and remember is that a lot of one of the two places that we mainly see passive voice is in newscasting, because passive voice kind of makes, in a weird way, it makes a victim out of one of the two parties. It is sort of like the one party is always receiving the action. So like the house is receiving the damage from a fire, or receiving the damage from a hurricane, or tornado, or whatever. So the house was burned by the fire. Instead of having active verbs, instead of was burned, you would say burn. So the fire burned the house. That would be active. And you could also, if you need a sort of like literary character, like with an actual person, passive would be that Harry was given a scar by Voldemort's action. But active would be that Voldemort harmed Harry. So it can be kind of confusing, but most of the time that we see it, sort of like most of the time that we see passive, it's on the news. Like 99% of the news stories are done through passive voice because they want you to feel terrible that there was a victim of something. Anyway. Yes, so this is active. Monique says, do you have any advice for pacing and transitions from one plot point to the next? So as for pacing, the length of your sentences and the complexity of your sentences can do a whole lot for pacing. If you have shorter sentences, they're easy to read, so people get through them faster, so it feels like action is happening. That's one way that you can speed up your pacing. If you want to kind of slow down, you start to use more complex or complicated sentence structures, more commas and semicolons, longer sentences, so it feels a little bit longer or extended. So that will slow the pacing down in some regards. So that's a tip for pacing, sentence length. As far as transitioning from one plot point to the next, it depends on sometimes dialogue happens, and that will be your transition, your way to have your characters go, hey, what's that over there? And then your characters look and see, the stork carrying the baby has landed on an open convertible with the mayor and the beauty pageant queen. I don't know. So it's like, the hey, look over there. that's kind of a transition. So it just kind of makes dialogue is a way to transition. Having a character go to sleep or wake up is sometimes a transition. Having your characters move from one location to another. Things like that. Passive voice can be very aggravating, yes. Rachel says, didn't you realize you had a sprint scheduled? I scheduled it at like 12:40. So, but the next 2 weeks are now scheduled. Jen got 760. Nice. Megan says, I brainstormed titles for this feminist anthology that you're creating. You're struggling to find the perfect name. Ooh. I will have to think. But if you have any suggestions for Megan, pop them in the chat. Kate outlined the first half of the scene before work sucked you in. Go figure. It does that. It tends to do that. It's new to you. It's okay. It's still a new car. Becca is still working on this chapter, but making progress. Yay for progress. Yay. Stacy is still deleting emails. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jen says, ooh, what is it? You traded in the car you had inherited from your mother last year and got a Honda Pilot. Nice. Was that hard? The explanation? I don't think so. No, I don't think you answered that. I don't know what is hard. Everything, life. BA says, got some pizza and your Build Better Characters book to help polish some of your characters. Fantastic. Mom Maggie says, nice to the new car. Rachel says, oh my gosh, I want to play games instead of writing. You need to get your brain back into this manuscript. Agreed. But also agreed on the want to game. I restarted. I had to reinstall Diablo 2 on my laptop because I hadn't played it on here because I was feeling nostalgia and I just wanted to play it. So yes, there's now another game on my laptop. Mom Maggie says, living room finished and need to do the bathrooms next. Nice. Getting cleaner. Harder for your kid. Your AC is out in your old car and the new one sounds great, but it makes more sense financially to just look into fixing it. Your car is fine otherwise. Gotcha. Made sure it made sense to trade it though. Yes. Yes. Amy says, we'll be going for lunch. It's too hot out here and I really need to get out of the house. Yes. Not who you think she is. Yes. You've been trying to find English classes, but because you're a native speaker, it's impossible. I don't know that it's necessarily impossible, but I don't know exactly how many grammar books I have on my shelf because I have a lot and I have not counted. So Monique says, basically, you're working on the midpoint right now, and the chapter ends with 2 minor characters getting murdered, just trying to work out the details. Oh, okay. So if the 2 minor characters are murdered, are your main characters sitting there watching them being murdered? If so, then your next chapter could start with them being interviewed by the police and either lying their asses off or telling the truth, depending on how you're going to go. Laura says, okay, Laura has some suggestions. My name is girl. My name is woman. I am woman. The roars of a woman. Rachel says, I always thought a good title would be a play on something that's often said, often the opposite. That's what she said, but it might be a bit too humorous for your theme, possibly, but still love it. The Feminist Pen. I don't know that, like, womb bearer wouldn't be all encompassing, so it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate. So I don't know. You really want to be inclusive of, yes. So you don't know if you can lean into the woman thing. Yeah. In addition to the car being on its way out, we figured would be better for the sun. Which one? The feminist pin? Whispers and words. Does he like the new one? Rachel likes Mama Maggie's suggestion. Absolutely. Okay, gotcha. Have to be careful using feminist because some people perceive it as hostile towards men and conservative / moderate women. True. Also very true. The strong side of pink. Okay, gotcha. Shouted whispers, wounded words. Good suggestions. Okay, let's do another sprint because I feel like I keep chatting today. We're gonna get at least 3 solid sprints in here, y'all. I promise. Okay, don't forget, self-promo sprint, which means don't forget to promote yourself. Mama Maggie is cleaning, so this is when you practice your own promotion. Your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, your Etsy shop, your Amazon author page, your social medias, your websites, your blogs, your all the writing things. Don't forget to promote them. And also, don't forget to save and hydrate. And sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, give yourself that posture check. And 4, make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 'Tis raining. Don't know if you can hear the rumbles or the sound of the rain and wind, but it is now raining. They've been calling for 60% chance of rain all day today. So it has finally arrived. So yeah. Made some more progress. Still working in pencil, which is a good thing because I had to erase like 3 or 4 times that time. So I think I'm making some progress. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I got 5 sort of sections of this taken care of for outlining and getting ready for Nano. So yeah, so I'm doing good. Well, 4.5 because I'm not quite done with this section. So, but yes, that was the self-promo sprint. So if you have something to promote, now's the time to do it. Let's see. Do. Alrighty. Jen Wright's Romance says you can find all my info in my YouTube bio. Monique's channel. Thank you, Mama Maggie, for the sprint links or channel links. Here is Stacy's channel. BA says, speaking of all those cool cards that we pulled today, I do have a tarot journal. Thank you, BA. I appreciate it. And also, BA has a wonderful website as well that you can visit. Here's Becca's channel. Megan says, I wrote an essay about my abortion experience. I encourage you to read it and then share it. And then here's the Tangled Locks Journal webpage where you can find Megan's essay. Here is B.A. Pascar's YouTube channel. Here is Jen Wright's Romances channel. Heather says, I'm a freelance line editor, copy editor, and proofreader, and I currently am booking for the fall and do free sample edits. Here is Laura's channel. VA. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the Dawdling Writers channel. Change the notifications to all so that you won't miss any content. Thank you, VA. Here's Heather's YouTube channel. Here, and Heather says you can reach me via DM on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and in the comments via the YouTubes. And here is the contact page for the blog. Here is CB's channel. Jenna the Soul Writer is here and says slips in after lunch to say hello to the like button. Thank you very much. Laura says my writing podcast is here, and there's the link. Here is the webpage for B.A. Pascard's July Nano project. Here is Emmy's channel. Jenna says, want to join the first page critique panel for the AuthorTube writing conferences here? Submit your first page here. Here is Megan's channel. Heather also has an Etsy shop, and there's the link. Here's Rachel Adams' channel. Here's Kate's L channel. Here's Jenna the Soul Writer's channel. Y'all don't forget to open these up in a new tab and make sure you are following your fellow writers. Here is Mama Maggie's channel. Jenna says, want to join me for an interview, panel discussion, or co-host some sprints during July? Here's the call to action video for autumn, and there's the link. 'Tis Tuesday, hashtag 5 a.m. Writers Club, 5 a.m. Mountain Time. And there's the YouTube channel link. And here is the AuthorTube Writing the Tree, which is Mom Maggie's presentation. And there's the link. Jen the Soul Writer said, to Jenna, all thanks, sweetie, couldn't stay the whole month. Stay away, but you tried, but so many exciting things to do in July. Jenna says, to Mama Maggie, you're awesome and a half for sure. Heather agrees. Mom Maggie says, not awesome, just extra caffeinated. We do love the caffeine, don't we? Just changed the authortube writer conference thumbnail again. Monique says, I'm on my second cup of coffee and workshopping how this midpoint is going to be played out. And Monique also has a Instagram under Ms. Ocampo Writes. And you got a new hat. Kate finished outlining the scene, figured the chapter cut, and started the next. Nice. Rachel says, thanks for the YouTube links. Caffeine always helps, and it's fun to play with. Yes. Oh, the thumbnails, yes. We need rain. Yes. Stacy says, I deleted at least 500 emails since the beginning of the stream. Go you. Jenna got 649 words. Laura is excited about the thunder. This is very much thunder, yes. You could hear it over your music. Hope it didn't scare your dogs. Sounds lovely. Made a few minor updates to the authortube Reddit conference website and got some packing and thunder. Yes. CB says, I'm beginning to realize why you gave up on Project Spider in the first place. You're turning it into a short story. That should be fun. Rachel says, oh, if anybody wants to buddy up in camp, you've been on a buddy spree, so we can keep another going. I should be under the Dawdling writer, so you can find me there if you feel like buddying with me. I don't do a whole lot with the buddy system, but there you go. Laura says, my worldwide write-a-thon vlog, in case you missed it, and there's the link for that. Monique says, my side of Texas would definitely need some rain. The dogs didn't even move. They don't mind the thunder, but fireworks are a whole nother. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I was trying to rush through those because I want us to do another sprint. And I'm going to go ahead. We'll do the hippo, 20 minutes. Here we go. All right. 1, save your document, especially if you've changed anything. 2, make sure you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4, make sure that if you need a break or you need to go pick up your kid like Stacy does, have fun. All right, here we go. 20 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that was the end of sprint number 3. Apologies for any flickering that happened. The rumbles, the thunder took out the internet for a little bit, so I had to pop on my phone hotspot, and then it finally the internet, regular internet, came back on, so I switched back over. So yeah, the internet happened. How'd you do? I think I made some decent progress, that despite the weirdness. So I think I made some decent progress. I kind of stalled for a little bit, and then I kind of got going again. So progress and good things. Okay. So Stacy said goodbye. Monique said cute hippo, but lol with the farting though. Yes, I have newly created the farting timer playlist, but I have yet to add more to them. I do have more planned. I just haven't rendered them yet, so there will be more. Jenna says, thanks for hosting. You're welcome. You're going to head out for a few more things in a bit. Doubt you'll make it back in time for the end of the sprint, so take care. Gotcha. NKR writes, hello. You wanted to ask a quick question. When you are printing a first draft, should you go over all of the spelling, punctuation, grammar checks before printing, or just go ahead and print it? You want to read over it since it's part of a 6-book series. Generally, it's always better to go ahead and fix the things that you can. But that's sort of general good practice type of things. Fix what you can. Then when you print it out and see it in a different medium, you will catch other things. But if you are impatient and you just want to read it, and the spelling and punctuation things aren't going to really bother you a whole lot, go ahead and print it. That's, up to you though. Monique says, good news, everyone. Thanks for the help of friends on Discord. You figured out the midpoint. Yay. You don't like reading online. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us don't. Heather, as the freelance editor, says, doing all the checks is always a good idea. But yes, this was where I was. Yeah. But always just recognize that first drafts are always going to be rough. There's always going to be errors with them. You will find more no matter how many checks you do, because first drafts are always like that. Jen says 397 words that sprint. Nice. CB says, I'm going to get my adult homeschooling books and see what I can work from that. Heather says, last 2 sprints, you got something else to hydrate with. Goodness knows I need that with this heat. Yes. Did some promo in a Facebook group and worked on your niece's cards and snacked. Excellent. Did your intern's weekly review and started outlining a scene in chapter 54. So chapter 53 and 54 is going to be so painful and you're cackling like the wicked writer. Yes. VA is so excited for the playlist. Yes. And you did some more character work. Fantastic. Good. CB got 589 words in total for the stream. Great. That's fantastic. Becca says, finished a chapter. Yay! One more down. How many more do you have left? Because how many do you have left? Because I know you had wanted to get them done before July. But how many are left on your plate? You're welcome. Okay. I do not have a number for you because I was working in pencil the whole time on a notebook, and I'm not ready to share it yet. All the plans. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing all the plans. But yeah, so it is thundering where I am. So, one of those summer heat storms. So don't forget to save your work, especially if you are working especially if you were working digitally, because to me, it seems like doesn't really matter when things are either on your laptop, like hard drive, or on like Google or whatever. But it always seems like I have lost words either way. So don't forget to save. Laura says, every time I get an email to my author address, I get excited, and then it turns out to be nothing. Oh, but yes. That reminds me, I should probably check my Dawdling email instead of my regular email. I have not checked that in far too long. Becca says, too many chapters, but like you said, one at a time. Yes. Mom Maggie says, I am calling my camp project Prepmo. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Love that. Okay. All right. Well, it is now past 3:00, and it is time for me to go. I will pop Devin's playlist in the chat so that, as always, we can thank the lucky stars that Devin has done such a wonderful thing for us. And I will see y'all later. Don't forget to save. And I have the next 2 weeks scheduled. So you can come back and visit me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3, and Sundays 2 to 5. All right. See y'all. Bye.